Hi, it's Grandpa Butler again. Time for us to have fun drawing an animal. Uh, I experimented several times with pencils and got close enough so I inked out a final picture of this osprey. And I'm imagining him looking over a lake, looking for some trout to take out of the lake. So for the branch that he's on, I'm going to use ochre green and sorry, dark, it's kind of dark yellow ochre and a little bit of crimson in there. I already marked his eye here with a little bit of this dark yellow. Then for his body, a kind of light cobalt blue and raw umber and this English red seem to be close to me. The lake is going to be light blue and ultramarine blue. And then the mountains we're going to try with a pink, a night blue. We're going to do some hills with moss green and some trees with this bluish green, dark bluish green here. So let's start out then with our little friend here. So let's do the tree first, just for fun. And when Grandpa does this, he's noticed that he's drawing in the same way that the nature tends to make its lines here. And in fact, Grandpa usually leaves some of the pigment behind of these watercolor crayons, which we'll activate in a second with water brush, because he likes that look there in the art. So put those over there. Let's get the bird now. It's got a beautiful white chest here, and so we're going to get some indication of that with this very light cobalt blue here, and we do it in these ways to sort of mimic the sort of feathers you can somewhat make out, and then his head here, we'll put a little bit of blue here on his head. Now next to his head we have some of this beautiful coming right up to his eyebrows, and a beautiful reddish color. And I guess I really hadn't decided on a color for his beak, but I'm going to decide now that it's going to be a kind of ochre, and again sort of touch of crimson on the bottom there. And okay, so so notice that when Grandpa does this, he's using his colors roughly in the shape of the feathers that he's kind of seeing in there. Now these tail feathers here on the bottom are going to be dark, dark in the shade white. So he'll put some blue there to remind Grandpa that when he gets that far, not to mess it up with another color here. Okay. And then the color of the feathers get darker as we get down here. So this is the raw umber here we're putting in here. So I kind of like the idea of mixing these colors together. I don't know what the right approach is. Grandpa has been doing this just for a couple of months, since May of 2021, and so he hasn't had a chance to experiment as much as he might otherwise like to experiment. Okay, so we'll get our brush out. You can use any watercolor brush. This is one I find convenient for taking out on hikes and going on trips with Grandma, which Grandpa would love to do many more of. So we've sort of got that in. I think we'll do some more penciling in there later on. Inking in, rather, I guess, is better. I think I started out with a little bit too much water here initially, so yeah, let me get that in. And there's a little bit of that redness in the photograph in there. So I'll put that in like that. So here we come like this. And I'm trying to follow, even with my stroking here, I'm trying to follow what I sketched and then what I put in crayon. So I get the shape of the feathers. If you stroke too much and move these all together, all you get is a sort of grayish mess. And I don't want that for this bird. Okay, so now we're coming down. And I see I've got a little bit of color left over from doing the body of the bird, which I just, wow, I really like that. Okay. So I'm coming down here, kind of activating the colors here. And there's a little darker colors underneath there, so I'm just gonna, didn't plan on this, I'm grabbing my night blue up there to get sort of shadows underneath there. How's that? So that's basically our bird. I'm happy enough with that. So now we're gonna do our lake and our sky and our mountains here. So lake here is going to be mostly this light blue color, and I am stroking it the way that you would see the water blow across the lake here. Like so. I'm going to put a little darker blue here and there in the lake to indicate some little wave actions, and a lot more dark blue back there on the opposite side to indicate that that's where the shore is, and a little bit of this kind of less of the dark blue as I come forward down the page here. A little bit more kind of wave action as I get closer and closer. There may be bigger waves here. It may be harder for our friend here to spot his trout prey. Frequently, eagles like to come after the osprey's caught as catch and take the birds away from them. The osprey is smaller than their competitive eagle cousins. But all these birds are just magnificent. So then there I think that's water pigment enough for the lake, so let's try and do that. And touch the brush in, over there without moving some of the colors in our bird over here. Okay. It is wonderful to see these birds out fishing, and I hope we can be wise enough in the world that we don't destroy their ability to do so, or their habitat in which they can do this. I do like trout myself, though I think I'm the only one in the family that does. And I think it's because I associate it with Grandpa and Grandma Lindo taking me out as a little kid. Because Grandpa liked to fish. They don't want to like to fish. It was sort of their diet staples. And, okay. So I think we're done enough there. Let's put in some mossy colors here for kind of foreground coming down in here. And anticipating there's going to be a mountain behind it. And then let's do a little bit of dark green along the shore here. And that's our evergreens there. in the mountains, and to illustrate how deep in the mountains, let's put a little snow on these mountains. Right? We do not always appreciated how lovely snow is. I know you skiers do, but the rest of us, we drink it all summer long out in the West. Okay, so now we're going to do the mountain things. The mountain things is, it's going to be kind of wild sketching here. I'm thinking Tetons, kind of new mountains, sticky up mountains. And, okay, let Grandpa's neuropathy rest a bit, bringing the chair over. There are some mountains there, and we're going to leave white areas roughly there for the snow, and maybe a white snowfield across there as we come up to another set of mountains. I'm going to put not snow, but dark mountains all around our eagle up here. So he gets lots of contrast here with other parts of the pictures, and then snow here, mountains here, maybe a little bit of mountain behind the snowfield comes down here like that, and then mountains here. The other part here, our mountains, is we're going to add in some blue. So is that a snowfield as well? I guess we hadn't designated it. Let's put some blue in there and then have the snowfield be like that and come in. And then if you want to do mountains with kind of indicating that here is a kind of slope in a mountain coming down here, you can do these triangles and then connect the triangles like we just did there. Okay, I think I'll put some of this blue here up into the mountains. See how they mix. I think that would be fun color combinations. And then some pink. When you look at the mountains, they look magnificent, and because their colors are faint, you don't always see all the beautiful colors that are there, which colors change by season, by season of the year, and by time of day, and sort of the context. Now just a little bit of pink I want to show up here and there. As a kind of fun highlight here. I think especially on the side where I envision the sun coming from kind of from the left. There and there, and up there. How's that? Let's spend too much time on it, but that was fun. That's why we do this, because it's just really lots of fun. Okay, we're going to work down from top to the bottom. Trying to work around our snowfields first. So Grandpa's going to turn his picture upside down for a second. We can go along the snowfield. Now you are watching, especially my grandkids here, be able to figure out how to do this much faster than I am here in real time, but I'm not jealous. I'm glad some of you are interested in learning how to do this art. So here we go. And now we can turn it the other way around and get the rest of this, right? That's kind of the snowfields part of it. Okay. And what we do, if you've seen Grandpa with mountains before, is We're going to pull some of this color around and down. That's part of the art of working with these watercolor crayons, is just having a fun time of mastering that kind of application as well. And we'll come up here, pull some blues down here. Oh, I like that pink. I think that turned out to be really fun. Okay, let's do this ridge here. I'm going to come along there to get some distinct. And maybe on the other side I'll use less water or more water. What do you think? I'm not sure myself. Let's just try it with a lot less water. Just put it down here. Yeah, that seemed to work. Good idea. Thank you for sharing that with me. Okay. Now we're into our green back here, the mossy green in the hills before the mountains. So just light them up. Leave pigment in there. That represents vegetation in those hills. And them dar hills. I don't know that I had relatives that ever would exactly use those expressions, but I'm sure I use something equally colorful. Thank you, ancestors who brought us here and survived, and may we do good things for our children and grandchildren and for our lands. Okay, now I like that a lot. I think I'm going to just do a few touch-ups on the bird. I think I'm okay with this one. Get a few more touch-ups here and there around the outside of the bird, and we'll just put a few more marks here on the lake. And I think we're kind of done. That was fun. Thanks. Take care. Be kind to one another. Take care of all those, each other, and all these beautiful creatures of the earth. Thanks. Bye.